Once upon a time, back in 2023, the internet witnessed the rise of a legendary chess bot, a cute little cat named Mittens. Behind that innocent face, pure destruction. It had an elo that felt like a million, and players everywhere were terrified of it. Well, it's 2025 now. I think we have just found Mitten's spiritual successor. Meet Sensei, the newest, scariest bot on chess.com. Calm, wise, and absolutely brutal on the board. I'll drop the link below if you're brave enough to try it yourself. But today, I'm going head to head with Sensei. As always, we are going to start from the bottom, warm up with some of the beginner bots like White Belt Dave, and slowly climb the ladder until we face the ultimate boss, the Sensei. So let's begin. So, White Belt Dave is having the elo of 450. I'm playing with white. I'm going to start with my regular 1d4 opening. And here we go. Knight f6. I'll play c4, just covering the center. Knight f3. So far so good. We have the Bogo Indian. Bishop to b4. I'll play bishop d2, just queen e7. So it's a very theoretical move, and I'm kind of surprised by White Belt Dave that he found this move. I'll play a3, just okay. Now more 450 elo move, just giving up the bishop for free, attacking the queen, and here we go, king to f8. I'll just capture the queen. I'll capture the pawn. Okay, that's a free pawn. I'll just take it, and now I can play e4, just grabbing space, and I'll capture the knight. Okay, so this bot is absolutely disinterested in playing chess. He just knew some of the basic fundamental moves, and that's it. Like check, and I'll just get the bishop out and threatening a mate. Okay, so he just made a square for the king to run away, but that's still a mate. Check. I can give a check. Yeah. And I can capture the bishop with the pawn. That should be a mate. Like, can I push? Just threatening mate in one. Okay, I'll just take the rook. Yeah, I'll just take the other rook. And that's a mate. Yeah. So that's a mate. Yeah, 23 moves, and that's a mate. So White Belt Dave was having 450 elo. Let me just quickly change the bot, and yeah. Okay, so now let's play the Blunder Brothers having the elo of 800. Once again, I'll start with 1d4, c4, covering the center, e6. I'll develop my knight. I'll develop my another knight. And we have the semi-Slav. Okay, I'll just develop my bishop to f4. I'll take it. I'll push the pawn. And a c5. I believe already c5 should be a bad move because black is moving his pawn twice, which is not fundamentally a good move. I just need to find a way to punish him. I believe I can just take on d5 and bishop g7. Okay, that's a move that was kind of not expected, but yeah, by judging his rating, definitely yes. Take, and now I'll just capture a free pawn. And now that's more like the Blunder Brothers. They definitely do blunder. Rook c1, just attacking the queen. And now maybe I can just move my knight, attacking the queen, and b4. And now I can also give a check and capture the maybe one check. And now capture the rook. And now maybe I can pull my knight back. Okay, I'll just develop my bishop. I can trade off the queens if I want. I'll do so. And just castle up. And just trying to trade off some pieces. Okay, wow. He's just a bot after all. I can't. Okay, my goal is just to trade off as many pieces as possible. Capture everything. Okay, just push the pawn and mate him. That's it. So Blunder Brothers played well. It took me 33 moves to mate them. So now let's change the bot and let's play the... Okay, what's the name? Britlynn. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Maybe the spelling is wrong. I don't know. I've got zero idea. 1350. I'll start with 1d4, 1 second c4, and I believe as of now you are kind of used to this opening, knight c3, and we have the Raghavan defense by black. Okay, let me push to e3 and a c5. Okay, I'll just black is putting some pressure in the center. I can just capture on d5 first, and now I can even go for capturing the pawn over here. I believe what I will do here is I'll just develop my bishop, playing a simple move, h6. Okay, now I can go back, or I can even go for capturing the knight. If I go back, maybe he can push, maybe she can push. I need to go back, then maybe I'll just go for capturing the knight. I'll capture the bishop and maybe just castle up. Okay, bishop goes to c2. Now the bishop is also having two options, but I believe bishop c2 should be much better, as I want to get the e4 break in the center. And now a4 is a move that looks too natural to me. I'm just putting pressure. Yeah, if he pushes, I can take, and he loses the rook. If he pushes, I can instantly capture the pawn, and that's a good idea. Just play a4. And rook b8 was a move which I definitely did not saw, but I believe I can still capture this pawn, and if he takes it back, I can simply capture the pawn on a7. And that makes sense. And as we know, she's a bot. She can't really capture the pawn. It's not legally programmed in her system. So we have queen to b6, and now it's a question: how shall I continue the possession? I was really going to play rook a6, but my rook was hanging. So okay, let's think logically. I can just push. If she takes, I'll just take it back. If she castles up, I can play bishop c6. Just queen b1. Even queen b1 looks good, or even bishop a4, just protecting this. But I believe e4 looks good, logically speaking out. And I can go for capturing a free pawn. That's a free pawn. I must capture it. Knight to f6. Okay, knight e5, because the knight is no longer on d7, so knight e5. Capturing on c4 makes sense. Yeah, just knight c4. Though my c3 is also hanging at the same time. Even queen f3 looks good. Okay, I'm actually having an idea. Knight c4, knight c3, queen d3, and I threaten a mate. So knight c4 should be a good move. Queen goes to b7. And now, at the very least, I can play queen d3 for now. Just queen d3, threatening a mate, and also protecting the pawn on c3. That makes sense. Though knight d6 also makes sense. I'll just capture this. I'll just capture it, right? I can also play queen d3, which makes sense. Threatening mate in 1. She played g6. And now it's a question. Maybe I can just go for capturing the bishop. That makes sense. Just not doing anything stupid. I believe I can also simply come back with my knight to e4. I wanted to play this, but I can't. So maybe I can just push. If the knight moves, I'm having knight f6 check, and I can win the queen. That sounds like a good idea. Check. And that's a check. And I can capture the rook. And now this should be winning. This is winning. I can just pull back the knight. That's it. Yeah, I can just take this as well. Now there are multiple ways to win the possession. I'll just take, and I'll just protect the pawn. I'll just trade off the rooks, and now this is just winning. This is just a cup of tea. Okay, I'll just protect the rook. Okay, nice try. I'll just attack the bishop, push the pawn, I'll give a check. Another check. I'll push. Everything is covered. I'll just push the pawn. I'll try to make a queen. Okay, I'll just capture the pawn. I'll just cut off the king. I'll just push. I'll just push and I'll just win. Yeah, that's a mate. So it took me 53 moves to beat Britlynn, having the elo of 1350. She definitely was a better bot. And now we are going to play against the Shaolin Monk, having the rating of 1800. Okay, once again, 1d4. c4, knight goes to f3. And now we have the Benoni, I believe, if I'm not really wrong. Maybe not, because the pawn is generally on g6, bishop g7. But okay, now I'm having two options. Either to transpose this opening into a Sicilian defense by playing knight c3 takes, or just push the pawn, which I'm going to do. And wow, okay, now this is a gambit that you must... Okay, the Blumenfeld counter gambit. I'm sort of surprised that Indians also do play gambits. He's a monk after all. He must... Okay, maybe I should first capture on e6 and then capture on b5. That's a free pawn. And now maybe I'm going to give you guys a small masterclass on how to play against the Blumenfeld counter gambit. Yeah. Always put your pawn on b3. Put your bishop on b2. You can take. That's an option. I believe even knight d2 works. I believe we can take. Maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can capture the pawn, which is a free pawn. I'll do so. That's a check. I can block it with knight to d2. And we have knight to c6. And now just e3 should be a good move. I'll just take off the bishop. I'll just trade off the queens. I can trade off the queens actually. That sounds like a good idea. Okay. I'm pawn up. So far so good. I'm one pawn up. So maybe just king d2. The bishop can't be moved. The g7 pawn is hanging. Maybe just king to d2, getting the king into the game. Makes sense. Maybe. a3. And a bishop. Maybe. The rook comes into the game. And now it's the key moment. I want to push. Take. And that's a check. So I can't do so. I'm thinking push. Takes. If he takes with the knight, rook a4 wins. If he takes with the bishop, I'll just take, and rook 8 wins. So b4. b4 is winning. I'll just stick with the pawn. And a rook a4 just wins. I'm winning a piece. That's it. I'll just take this. That should be GG. Okay, now I can even capture the bishop, but that's not really needed. So I believe, okay, black's idea is to get another rook into the game. So that's a question. Let me think. Okay, I can play knight to d4 followed by knight c2. That looks like a good idea. What's this? g3? This should be winning. Just wait a sec. Knight c3 wins. Even knight c3 wins, yeah. This wins, check. And the bishop is trapped. Okay, I'll just play king c2 for the... Yeah, just king c2 for some safe purposes. And that's it. That's how we win. Rook, yeah, just the bishop goes back. Or I can just... Okay, now there are multiple ways to win. I'll simply choose one of them. Yeah. Okay, just knight over here. The rook goes to d7. And now maybe just getting the rook. Okay, I'll just take. And now this is cup of tea. I'll just quickly finish it off. Okay, safeguarding the king. Double attack. Push. Stop the pawn. Okay, now that's a nasty track. That's a nasty trick. Okay, just push. 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 And that's the queen. And that should be it. That should be it. That should be it. GG. Okay, so it took me 54 moves to beat the Shaolin Monk. And finally, the one we have been waiting for. I'm going to play the Sensei, the one and only. To be true, Sensei is not really having a defined rating. Sensei's real rating is a question mark. Currently, you are able to see 3000 because Sensei does not really have any rating. Let's check it out. 1d4, c4, knight to f3. I need to take the Sensei bot really serious. Like b6. Okay, we have the queen's Indian. a3, knight to c3. Bishop to g5. I'll take on f6 because this is an opening which I usually play, developing my bishop on the light square. Okay, if black takes, I'll just take back with the knight. I'll just follow some basics, castle up. Rook goes to e8 and I'll just play e3. I can play e3. I can also capture the pawn, which is not really required though. I need to think. Maybe just e3. Okay, knight to a6. Just rook c1. Rook c1 does make sense. Rook c1, c4. Not 100% sure. If I take takes is definitely bad. Just rook c1. Knight goes to c7. Can I take and play knight a4? Attacking the pawn on c5? That looks like a good idea. That does look like a good idea. Like knight e6, knight c5, knight c5, rook c5, bishop b2, rook b5. Yeah, that does look like a good idea. I'll just go for it. And yeah, c4. I thought it was a bad idea because the d5 pawn is a backward pawn now. You can't really push the pawn. Maybe just knight d4. Makes sense now. Queen to d6. Okay, now b3 maybe? Okay, b3, I'm losing a3. I need to be a bit alert. Knight c3? Just pulling back the knight makes sense. It does make sense. Rook to b8. Okay. Now, b3 maybe? Okay. Like, after b3, black can take and play bishop a6. I lose the rook. So that's not working. Knight f5, I'm not sure. I need to somehow get the b3 break in. Somehow. I don't know how. But somehow. Maybe knight b5. Knight b5, knight b5, queen b6. I don't know. Somehow I need to do something. b3? b3 is not working. I need to play rook b1, but still bishop a6 is a bit uncomfortable way to play. Okay, if I just push, the a3 pawn is always hanging. So maybe a4 and then playing b3 in the future. Maybe. And now maybe I can just put my knight on b5. That still makes sense. That still makes sense. Takes and maybe just knight b5. Even a b5 looks good move. But after a b5, nah, I'm not sure. After AB5, like after knight takes, I believe knight takes is still much better. Queen to B4, and I'm losing a pawn, which can't really be protected. B3, CB3, rook B1, Queen F4, Queen B3 is not working. Once again, I'm having a bad position, a terrible position to play against Sensei. Knight D4, maybe, I don't know. Rook B1, Queen A3, Knight B5. I've got zero idea. Queen C5, and here we go. Completely losing, yeah. I've got zero idea. Just rook over here. Just knight d4. Queen b1. Losing another pawn. And that's GG. Queen c1. Nah, zero idea. Rook b. The queen is also coming in. And that's a game over. Okay, I think it's time to resign, yeah. It's like there is no way to resign, but I lost. Okay, so let me play a new game against Sensei. This time I'll play 1c4 and see what happens. Knight c3, g3, bishop goes to g2. Okay, I'll develop my knight to f3, put my knight to d4, and now just knight goes to c2 attacking the bishop, and now I'm at least having the bishop pair. I'll castle up. I can play d3, just protect the pawn. I'll just capture it back. Definitely my pawn is attacked. I just need to find a way. Can I push? Yeah, I believe I can push. If he takes, I will take the b7 pawn. That looks like a good idea. I'll pull back the bishop. And now black is having activity. And maybe he's already better. Knight to e3. Take with the bishop. Take with the bishop. I'm having the bishop pair advantage, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. And now maybe for a5, grabbing more space on the queen side seems like a good idea. Even c4, maybe c5. But generally bishops are great at open position, so who knows, maybe taking could be a much better way to play. Yeah. But why shall I take? I'll just allow my opponent to take. If he takes, I'll just take back with the rook. He played the bishop. I don't want to take. I want him to take. So for now, I'll just play queen f3. I'll get my pieces. For a sec, I thought my queen was trapped. Queen bishop g4, queen f4. Losing. I'm losing material now once again. Can I take? Takes, rook takes the pawn. Maybe. Oh. Wait a minute. I'm having a queen. I'm having a rook for a rook. I'm having a bishop for a bishop. So basically, I'm having a queen for a knight and a rook. I'm having 6 pawns, he's having 4 pawns. He's threatening rook b1. If I go rook c1, somehow after rook c7, he will trade and mate me on e1. Yeah. So the question is, can I stop him? f3, rook b, I can come maybe. But okay, after rook b1, king f2, knight g, yeah, maybe f3 is the only. Okay, if I play f3, I lose the rook. Yeah. So rook c7, rook b1, and I still lose. Maybe b3, just f3, I mean. Now this is losing. Yeah, I'll just resign. This is just losing. There is no hope left to be true in this position. Bishop f2, rook comes, and that's it. Like, this is a GG. Okay, so Sensei bot is definitely way too strong. At least for me, I need to practice way harder to beat Sensei. You guys can also check it out by yourself. I'll just give you the link in the description to play against the Sensei bot and check it out yourself. This was it, I believe. Yeah, I played 2 times. I lost 2-0. I lost 0-2. And that's it. I hope that this was fun. The power of the Sensei bot. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.